Hello, today we're going to make some stud earrings using UV resin and some yarn. So I had this idea because I've been recently making crochet stuffed animals, which I love. They're so cute. I'll show you some pictures at the end of this video of what I recently made. But then I had this yarn that wasn't enough to make a whole other stuffy. So I just decided, well, why don't I try to use it in some resin projects? So that's what gave me the idea. So I am cutting this up into little pieces. This is all the end of one of the stuffies that I made. There was just not enough yarn left to make another one. So I decided I was going to actually tear it into tiny little pieces. See that, the little fluff that comes off? And I'll put the type of yarn I used and all the materials I used to make this in the description of this video. I'll give you all the links if you want those. So I'm just tearing this. The fuzzies come right off. And I'm putting it down in there because I was going to put them in there in whole little pieces, but I decided it looked better tearing it into little fluffy pieces. And I'm just going to do this first row of earrings because I was doing this as an experiment and I wanted to see how it worked. And it turned out really good. I like how they turned out. So we're using UV resin. You can do epoxy resin with this. I wanted to have a quick project to test this out, so I used UV resin because it'll cure instantly. So I'm tearing it into tiny little pieces. And I was wondering as I was doing this if the end result would kind of look like cotton candy because that's what it was reminding me of, and it kind of does. So just take your UV resin and pour it directly into your mold. And where the yarn is a little bit fluffy, you kind of have to use your toothpick to move the yarn around to get it completely wet with the UV resin because the fluffiness doesn't want to absorb it until you move it around in there. And so once you do that and it's saturated, then you can fill the rest of the mold up. The bottom of this mold is the front of your earring because it has a domed shape. So here in a minute, I'm going to put some glitter in some of these, and you want to mix it up so that you can see it in the front of your earring. If not, it'll just float on the top here. So you can kind of see how it's starting to clump there. And then once that happens, just fill it the rest of the way. You want your UV resin to be even with the top of your mold. You can see how little these are. This is a perfect mold for making stud earrings or for making dangles because as you go farther up on this mold, it makes bigger circles. You can make pendant necklaces too. Or maybe even the biggest one could make a keychain. So put it under your UV light for a minute or so to set it. And then we're going to do the next one. So as I was doing this one, I thought, I have pink glitter, so let me go ahead and add some of that to see what it looks like, and it turned out really pretty. But I didn't want to make a mess, so I went ahead and just put some pink glitter into one of my clear cups and used my toothpick to get it out. I'll show you in a minute. But see how that doesn't want to get completely wet? It's just the type of fluffiness from the yarn, so once you get it saturated, though, it fills up really easily. So here I just put a little tiny bit of glitter in that, and I'm using my toothpick. It has resin on it, so it comes out on the toothpick really easily. And I'm moving it down towards the bottom of the mold so you'll be able to see it in the front. And this is a neat alternative to using like mica powder, or I'll use just a lot of glitter to color the earring, but this is another neat alternative. You could do any type of, or any color yarn you want, and it gives it a different texture. So put it under the UV light for 2 to 3 minutes, and then this is how it turned out. They turned out really pretty. See how it almost has like a pink cloud appearance, or cotton candy. They turned out really pretty. I'm curious to see different types of yarn. I know that this specifically comes off in little fluffy tufts, so it made a different texture, but like the different colors would be beautiful too. And I love that mixture of the purple and pink together. The purple is like really soft and the pink stands out more. Okay, so next we are going to put the backs on these because these are going to be stud earrings. So I get this kit from Amazon. I'll put the link in my description to where you can get those. And this is just, I'm doing this on the back of one of my dangle earring molds. So this is just a silicone mold back. I'm going to put a dot of UV resin on each of the earrings. And these earrings are face down. And then I'm just going to put the back right on there. And I'm just doing half at a time because where these were domed, they kept on wanting to fall over a little bit, and I didn't want the UV resin to run over. So just out of caution, I did half at a time. So I'll do this and put it under the UV light for about a minute, and there'll be one more step to do. I went ahead and did the rest of them just like I did that one. Just a little dot. And I had to be really careful for the little ones because they wanted to fall over when you put the UV resin on it. So I did those by themselves. So put that under the UV light for about a minute, and then you're going to put one more dot of UV resin and use your toothpick to just move it around your earring. And you're going to dome the back very carefully so it doesn't run over the edges. And then you'll put it under your UV light again, and your earring is done. This is just a way to make it look more professional. It also makes sure your earring back is not going to go anywhere. It is stuck for good now that you have done this extra step here. Makes it have a nice smooth appearance on the back. And you do that to all of them and put it under the UV resin light for about 3 minutes is what I would do to get it completely cured. And I like to take them out, lay them on their side, and put it under the UV light for another couple minutes, just so I can make sure it's penetrated all the way through the earring and it's completely cured and I don't have to worry about it. And then I noticed there was some places, typically I would do this before I put the back on it, but I didn't this time for some reason. And then you just clean it off with my little scrapey tool, and I'll put that in the description as well, the link for this. This is the thing I've found works the best cleaning up the edges. So I'm just going to do them on single display cards, and I have this little box of clear backs. I'm just going to add those on. And this clear back box, it lasts forever. Okay, this is how beautiful they look. I love them. That's the smallest that in the set we did, and this is the largest ones we did. And this is the comparison of the sizes of those. And then this is the other three we did, and here they are all together. I love them. They turned out so cute, and who knew you could do this with yarn? We did an experiment, and it worked out. Let me know if you like this idea and if you're going to try it. And here's my little animals I told you I'd show you at the end. Aren't they so cute? I have a lot more videos and tutorials on my channel. Please check them out and have a blessed day.